Hello, Heroscape lovers! I am the Heroscape Goblin, and we will be discussing my first impressions of the Crooked Crew of the Clockwork Combine Army Expansion Set. Heroscape loves their alliterations. Alright, so we'll start with the very first figure. There are 3 figures released in this set, first of which being the return of Guilty McCreech. He doesn't look that guilty anymore. I think Guilty McCreech had a noose around his neck from what I remember. But in the same vein, I could see them not wanting to continue to do that. Just with what that means and all that. So, it's nice to have an old figure come back though. I like that you give him a little Doc Ock tentacle on his back. That's fun. But yeah, he is a human. Unique hero, Lawman, gets that Lawman synergy going, and he's greedy. Interesting. I don't know if I've seen greedy as a trait before. That's fun to see new traits. Medium 4. Gosh, Guilty might have been greedy before. I don't know. I didn't use Guilty McCreech beforehand. Much like Sudema and Concan, I didn't have an opportunity to use Guilty before, so it's nice to be able to use Guilty this time. But he looks like, oh, that's nice that his little tentacle arm isn't going to be used as something that you can shoot at. So even though it's peeking up above him, if he's hiding behind a wall, you can't shoot the tentacle arm, so that's nice. But he has a life of 3 and a defense of 3, so pretty solid there, and attack of 2, move of 5, and range of 7. Alright, 7, nice. That's pretty far. I think that's basically the max range that anyone but like Savaris and a special figure, I mean, all figures are special in their own right, but most of the time we see anything higher than like, I mean, 7's pretty high. So I'd say yeah, 7 range, really good. And with that, he gets double attack. So even though you're only attacking with 2 dice, you get to double attack. So that's pretty good. And on top of that, he has the ability of Deputize. At the start of the game, you may place a silver badge marker onto a unique hero in your army that is a sniper or who follows Enar or Volorak. For this game, it gains the class of Lawman. So you get to choose any Enar or Volorak, and you get to make them a Lawman, which is nice because then you get to take a turn by using Nishi Suta. So that's pretty cool. I think there's extra Lawman abilities that we'll get into with his 3rd ability. So that's nice to be able to give him that extra class of Lawman. I like that it says it gains the class of Lawman instead of giving it the class of Lawman instead of what it was else, because it's nice to be able to keep that original class. Interesting that it says you get to pick is a sniper or follows Enar or Volorak. So, gosh, sniper heroes. What are any sniper heroes? I know that Frizzed Galligan, the new Jandar figure, that one's going to be a sniper, so you'll be able to deputize him if you'd like. So that'll be kind of nice. And then the last ability being Long Arm of the Law. That's where he uses big old tentacle arm. I should not just say tentacle because it's not an octopus arm. I keep thinking Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man. But yeah, once per turn, before, during, or after moving normally, nice variety there, you may choose a treasure glyph within 3 clear sight spaces and place that treasure glyph power side up on Guilty's army card or the army card of a friendly unique Lawman hero within 3 clear sight spaces of Guilty. And you do not roll for traps for those glyphs when collected with the Long Arm of the Law. So you get to negate any traps. That's pretty nice. Immediately have that use right there. And then you get to give the glyph to any, unique hero Lawman. So very specific, unique hero Lawman within 3 clear sight spaces. 3 is not that large, but at the same time, his tentacle isn't supposed to. I can see it where it's like, hey, it's not supposed to throw it across the map at someone who's, 10 spaces away. So, 3 clear sight spaces makes sense. I'm not sure how often this ability is going to get used. I mean, there are just some maps that you don't even use glyphs, so... but it looks like with some of the cards and some of the new characters, they're going to have glyphs, like Gimbal, and much like the very next character that we're going to get into. But before we do that, I just want to mention that he's only 50 points, so that's pretty great. Enar unit, I think Enar, because he's like, he's from the past, he's historical, old cowboy action, so I guess that makes sense with Enar. But into a more classically looking Enar unit, we have Takanawa Kaiga. Yeah, Takanawa Kaiga. He is, I think, my favorite looking sculpt that wasn't leaked when we first saw the Secrets of the Citadel. This one's really, really cool looking. And let's just look at these stats here. Let's see, so Takanawa Kaiga is a human, unique hero, samurai, tormented, large 6. So it's nice to be large. And it's nice to be a samurai too, so you get the samurai synergy with Nishisota. And let's get into the stats on the right hand side. We got a life of 6, defense of 4, move of 8, range of 1, attack of 3. So that's pretty great stats for only being 90 points. But as with most cards, we'll see how exactly that makes sense with the special abilities here. So, first of which being Chosen of the Blade. Takanawa Kaiga starts each game with the Blood Cursed Blade treasure glyph on the card. So we'll just go over that real quick, since that's basically what the ability is. When this hero attacks an adjacent figure with a normal attack, you add 1 skull to the roll. No matter what you roll, you get 1 skull added on there, guaranteed. And at the end of the turn, if no figure took a wound during that turn, the hero takes 1 wound. And you cannot drop the Blood Cursed Blade, ever. You cannot choose to do that. Once you unsheath it, you will go down with it, or you will be victorious. There is no if, and, or but. So that's really cool. It's called the Blood Cursed Blade. I really, really like this. I really, really like this glyph because it's a give and take. Is it worth it to run around with that sword? Because you basically just have to just keep adding on to your attack. You have to be a powerhouse that's just going on to next. Otherwise, you're going to take wounds. And then that makes sense with his very large, fairly large pool of life being 6. So you can let those build up if he doesn't get attacks right away. I mean, and with your first move, you're not going to get an attack usually. I know it's 8, but very rarely are you going to get an attack off on your first turn, first round. So and then we also got the Blade Thirsts. Once per round, after attacking a figure, you may move Kaiga up 4 spaces, and you may attack 1 normal attack. If you use the Blade Thirsts, you just take 1 wound regardless at the end of that turn. Doesn't matter if you hit someone or not. So sometimes you have to gauge whether that's worth it. I'd say, I mean, it's a whole extra turn, so that's great, but is it gonna be worth it? And then if you don't take the hit, like let's say if you use the Blade Thirsts and then you don't end up wounding any figures during that turn, well gosh, now you're taking 2 wounds on yourself in 1 turn. So very interesting, very cool to see if this is even gonna be a viable unit. I very much think he will be. It's just got to take a lot of skill, I think, in order to pull this off. And the last ability being Counter Strike. If Kaiga successfully defends against a normal attack from an adjacent attacking figure that is not a samurai, the attacking figure takes 1 wound for each excess shield. And you got a defense of 4, so that's pretty good. I like the likelihood of that. That's the same likelihood of Nishisauta. So honestly, you can't go wrong. 90 points, you throw on the Counter Strike, that makes sense because it's his only ability that technically doesn't harm him in any way whatsoever. But I like this because it intimidates your enemy. Counter-Strike is a great ability that you don't even need to use it, and it has great effect because your enemy has to wonder if it's even worth it to attack you. They might get a wound if they screw up their attack roll. I mean, and with a defensive 4, they just might. So, really, really nice looking unit here. And we're gonna finish up with Durgeth. I think that's how you... Yeah, Durgeth. So this is a really, really interesting looking unit. I love the sculpt on this one. Yeah, nice. Got a couple different arms, different wings. And we're going to get to why this guy looks so interesting. So, on the left-hand side, we'll check out the stats here. Durgeth, unique hero, scientist and wizard. And he's callous with a medium of 5. So, scientist, so he gets to pick up the gimbal treasure glyphs without needing to only use it just the one time. So that's pretty great. That already makes him a more effective unit just right in there because he gets to use those abilities. And, I mean, he has flying on his card just to spoil, just to get into that. So he's not ever really going to want to pick up the gimbal flying card. So you got those 2 other great abilities to pick from. And he's a wizard, so he can potentially bond with Corvin. Let's see if his special abilities will let us do that. But before that, we'll just check his stats on the right-hand side. Life of 6, that's pretty good. Defense of 3. Move of 5. Range of 1, and attack 3. So only 75 points. So right there, that's a very high life for only 75 points. Everything else is average, right down the middle, 5, 1, 3, 3. But 6 life is really great. We'll get into the abilities now. Species Splicer. At the start of the game, you may choose one species from another non-Solborg army card in your army. Until Durgeth is destroyed, she gains that species. So you just get to pick from different species, different buffs that might be able to be applied. Not including Solborg, which makes sense because they have no flesh in order to splice from. They're just cold hard steel with a soul in the middle. But even the Isonics have flesh on them in order to splice from, so that's cool. I like that they added that, just to give the Solborgs more of that uniqueness within the lore. Alright, and then I think his big ability here, her big ability here will be Blood Stitcher 15. Once per turn, before or after moving normally, Durgeth may choose one adjacent non-Solborg figure and remove 1 or 2 wound markers from it. If she does, she takes an equal number of wounds, and if she was not destroyed in doing that, you roll the d20 for each wound marker. And if you roll a 15 or higher, you just don't even get that wound. So you just take that wound right off. So basically, it's a way of healing while hurting yourself with a small likelihood of it not actually hurting yourself. I am curious to see if this ability can be used in conjunction with Corvin's Eye in the Sky ability. That ability is, to me, I maybe it's just me, the way that it's worded is so, it's hard to interpret how that'll be used in game. So I'm not sure if Blood Stitcher can be used in conjunction with Corvin, but if so, that'll be really cool. And then if not, we still got another great ability here on the bottom, which is I'll do it myself. Once per round, before you reveal a numbered order marker on an army card in your army, you may move that order marker to Durgeth and reveal it. So basically, if you find that you're like, oh wait, I actually shouldn't have put that order marker on them, I can move it over to Durgeth, which is nice because Durgeth has a healing ability. So let's say originally you were gonna put your order marker like 2 or 3 on someone else, and someone you really like gets hurt and you want to use Dernipia instead. And you're like, ah, dang it. Well, you can just move that order marker onto Dernipia with I'll do it myself, and you can attempt to use Blood Stitcher there. So yeah, that's pretty great. Only 75 points for this figure. It's a very unique figure. You know, at first when I read the card, I thought it didn't have any synergy, but it does have that scientist and wizard synergy. The small wizard synergy that is the Corvin add-on, and then scientist being how you can bond with Gimbal, or rather pick up Gimbal's pieces. So honestly, that's not bad. 75 points. I'll be curious about all these units here in this Enar set. They're very unique units. I'm glad how creative some of these units are coming out to be. You know, I like the units with just like one simple ability on them too, because we need to have those abilities to introduce newer people to Heroscape. You don't want to have every card be like the Zenithrax card where it's just this abundance of text and it's kind of hard to understand all in one go. It takes actually seeing it work in practice to understand the ability. So yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of both. I think these abilities are very well worded and easy to understand, and I really like these sculpts too. Well, I think that'll do it for us. That was the review. What was this wonderful alliteration? The Crooked Crew of the Clockwork Combine Army Expedition Pack. So yeah, the painted edition is going to be $50, and the unpainted will be $40. Very reasonably priced. Definitely going to be getting these figures. And yeah, I hope y'all have really enjoyed this video. These Enar units have been a lot of fun to cover. And I can't wait to jump into whatever video we got next. If you have any suggestions for what could be a fun video idea in discussing Heroscape, feel free to shoot it out in the comments. But otherwise, look on the horizon for seeing what videos I have next. Alright, have a great one. Peace.